We got physical day up front with ones going against ones, and then we did a couple of scout team situational things. Then we came back and did some 2-minute work, and then we went back to some scout team work, and then we came back and got physical again in the run game, and then with some more situational stuff, and then we came back and ended it up with another 2-minute situation. So it was a good practice today, good tempo. We got some guys that are banged up, nicked up, but that's part of it this time of the season. But Josh Hammonds didn't go today, so he'll be expecting him to do some things later on this week, possibly tomorrow. Tez did a couple of things. Kadarius was non-contact, but he moved around, but he was a non-contact situation. And for that most part, that's about it. I talked to a couple of guys on the team. They was upbeat, they was positive. Things that, as a team we decide we want to do, and, we did a couple of things different. We played a little music at practice like it's before the game. Getting the guys used to hearing music before the game, something simple like that. If it was a kicking situation, we treated those things as a timeout. So we played music on those situations. So get them used to game atmosphere. That's all we really did different today. And just competed. And that was good to see guys really, toned in and locked in what we was trying to get done.
How's the competition at quarterback then?
Good competition. Guys we rotating guys. One area Malik will take a period at ones, and then the next time we go to another period, Felipe will take one. So it's good. You see them guys compete, talking and communicating. But the best thing about it is when you compete every day, that brings the best out of you. So that's the one thing.
Timetable and name of the starter at quarterback?
Maybe tomorrow. Don't really know. But it's possible. We won't go into Saturday. I won't do that to you guys. So that's always the thing about it. But, probably tomorrow, probably Thursday.
So how critical is it, though, just to get the passing game going so teams just can't load the box on you guys?
It's very critical. We have to, we said, we have to work on what we can do. We got to put the quarterbacks in a situation what they feel comfortable in doing and what they have done. We did a self-scout and figured out what they can really do well. And those are things that you have to do. As coaches, sometimes you get into the mode of, I think we can do this, or we can do that, we can do this. Well, we send in offers from 7 o'clock in the morning to 10, 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, we can do those things. But when you got a young man that's got to sit in there in 30 minutes and then go execute a lot of different things on the football field, that's a little different. So we got to make sure we do the things that he can do, whichever the quarterback it is, and make us successful.
You've seen Franks for 7 games, Mike not so much. What do you see as the strengths of both guys if you were to go with one or the other?
I really don't know. Both of them do some good things. Both of them have won games in the past. So we just have to go in and keep competing and practice. And once that happens, then we can figure out what we're going to do. But we're going to work on what each one of them can do best. We won't sit up there and just say, okay, you can do this and you can do that. Whichever one we go with, we're going to figure out what they can do best and work on their strengths.
What's it going to take for the defense to regroup, especially the run defense?
Basically, let guys fit their run gaps. We had a lot of guys jumping out of gaps against Georgia, and that's one thing that they seen. And for the most part, during the year, we was pretty decent at fitting our run gaps. And then all of a sudden, big game like that, youngness, immature guys, not really immature, but really young guys, just got caught up in the atmosphere and didn't fit their gaps.
Do you think that some of it had to do with all the turmoil kind of going on?
I don't.
They were low energy.
I don't make no excuses. You know what I mean? Because it's football. You're always going to have adverse situations around you. Every time you play football, it's going to be something that's in your life that's going to be difficult. What we have to do is make sure that we get the young men to do the right things and play and compete at a level that sometimes it's a little difficult, but you have to compete. It's the reason why you play football. It's like a getaway. A lot of times that you do things to get away, and some people say, well, I go jog, or I go ride a bike, or I go fish. Well, football is a getaway for these young men. Get away from everything in the world, just go out there and compete on the football field that a lot of people just yelling positive things to you to make you feel good.
Following up a little bit on that, a couple of the guys we talked to yesterday were kind of shell-shocked, I guess, by how quickly everything happened. Have you sensed that players are kind of over that and they're moving forward? Yeah, because we bounced around. We bounced around. Everybody was doing all the right things. Wasn't no false starts in practice. Wasn't no offside penalties. Wasn't no mental stuff. You know what I mean? Wasn't anything mental. Usually when you have guys that are in another world, they have a lot of mental stuff that happens. And today we have no mental breakdowns today.
Randy, will you call the defense or will you let Rump do it?
Coach Rump's going to call it. He's one thing that we did this spring and this summer, I put Coach Rump in a situation where because things happen that maybe one game I will be sick. And then all of a sudden, if I'm not able to call it, he called it. So we did those things in the summer, and we did those things in the spring. And, we worked together very well throughout this whole season, and I think he's ready for it.
Any changes in terms of who's in the box, who's downstairs, that kind of thing?
Oh, well, I'll be downstairs. No, I think, Coach Rump will go up. Coach Rump will go up, and then we'll put Coach Akey on the sideline. So that'll be the only switch that we'll do.
What do you see from Drew Lock? I mean, you guys really had his number last year, but he's tearing it up this year.
Well, he's doing a good job. You know, they're a little bit more older. Last year it was a young team, and the receivers are doing a great job of getting things open, and he's doing a nice job with the offense. They do a good job of getting the ball downfield, stretching the field. It's going to be a real challenge to our young DBs to make sure that they accept the challenge and step up. I mean, we've been doing some good things in the secondary, but in some games we get relaxed a little bit. So it's going to be a challenge for those guys to make sure we do a good job, and it's going to be a big-time challenge for the defensive line. We've had a lot of injuries at D-line, but guys have to step up and make sure we put pressure on him to get some balls that are maybe thrown off his back foot and things like that.
Is he as good a passer as you guys have faced?
I don't ever judge guys. I mean, I just go by on film because
you're impressed with it. I mean, you're.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed with him because they're scoring points, and you know they throwing the ball around a little bit. So you always got to be impressed with him.
You mentioned the young DBs. What stands out to you about Marco Wilson and kind of how he's played this year so far?
You know what? He challenges. He really steps up. He plays the game hard. He plays the game with a lot of fun and a lot of enthusiasm, and he make a couple of mistakes, but he don't dwell on it. And I think that's the one thing that you got a guy like Marco and Chris Henderson. Both of those guys have run track, and when you run track and play football, you're on a stage where you can't hide in track. It's you against the next guy, and I think that's the thing that helps those guys out.
Will the QB thing be your call or Doug's decision?
Me and Coach Nussmeier sit down and make the call and see what's best for us.
How polished was Marco when he got here?
He was you know, had some, you know, kinks here and there, you know, but he really did a good job. His dad, Chad, which I recruited out of high school, believe it or not, he's done a good job with him. You know, football family, a coach, you know, he get a chance to work with him.
And Quincy, I mean, what similarities do you see and differences with those two
Oh,
guys?
the difference, one is big, one is short. You know, but you know what? Totally two different guys. Totally different guys. You know, Marco's a little outgoing a little bit. Quincy a little subdued and quiet. One is 6'2", one is about 5'11", one is about 208, one is about 175, 180. Both of them are very athletic, you know, type guys, and both parents are great. You know, and that's the one thing about it. Great parents that they have, and you're happy to have them on the team.
He made a heck of an open field tackle early in the game the other day. I know you guys were struggling, but do you know what the one I'm referring to?
Yeah, he's aggressive. He's aggressive kid. He's not a guy that goes shy away from contact. His dad, no, his grandmother wouldn't let him do that. Now, his dad, his grandmother. Oh yeah.
What's her name?
Oh God, you're gonna put me on the spot. Ooh, I can't remember her name right now.
Why her though?
Because I remember recruiting Chad, I had to go through her, and she was a tough cookie at that time. So that's why.
That's
Okay.
good.
We discussed the players dealing with everything, but for the assistant coaches, guys not knowing what their futures are, do you all meet as a staff and discuss that?
No, you know, everybody's been through it. You know, some way, form, or fashion, you've been through that situation, but you can't worry about it. You got to worry about Missouri right now, and that's the only thing that matters.
Do you think Coach Rump might call a different game than you might?
I
like
don't know.
More
I really
blitzes
don't.
or anything like
I
that?
don't know. I don't know what he's going to call. You know, everybody's different. You know, it
He
comes
has-
in situations.
He
You know
has
what
the
I mean?
freedom to call whatever he.
That's one thing about coaching. You get the freedom to do whatever, and coaches suggest things.
And the last thing, how big is a bowl game for this program? Just to make a bowl game, get the extra.
Can't even think about a bowl
practices?
game, to be honest with you. You got to think about this game against Missouri. You get started thinking about the bowl game, you lose sight on what you're trying to get done now. And that's, you know, you think about Missouri right now, and then after that, whoever's next, that's the next most important game.